In this part of the Halloween home tour series, I'm going to show you our dining room and kitchen, all spooked up for Halloween, sharing decorating ideas of how you can recreate this fun look for your home. So this is the Halloween party table setting this year. So to create this look, I needed a very, very large piece of white fabric, and I noticed that fabric was kind of expensive and it didn't come, at least where I was shopping, wide enough to cover the table. So what I ended up doing and found was less expensive was to actually buy just a very plain, very large white tablecloth at HomeGoods. I believe it was $25 for just a very simple white tablecloth that was 12 feet long. So what I ended up doing is placing the cloth over the table and then cutting away the excess and using that portion to create the ghost on the tabletop here. I went around the edge and did a nice, very spooky, jagged cut to just kind of give it more of a Halloween feel. But the basic idea of how to create this is to have some sort of stand, an overturned glass or plastic clear bowl to get you this rounded shape. And then you just drape your piece of cloth over top of that, kind of shape it and form it to get it to give you kind of this ghostly shape. And then take two of the ends and just kind of wrap them around your candle stick or your candelabra. Now, one thing I will say is you do not want to use real candles for this because, of course, the cloth is flammable, the hat is flammable, I mean, the party decorations, everything is pretty flammable, so you definitely want to use LED candles or lights for this look. But after you have the fabric draped over top, if you want an even spookier kind of texture and look, you can do what I did here, which was to add some cheesecloth draped over top of the cloth. And I also did that to the table as well. And then the eyes and the mouth are actually just cut out of this orangey yellow vellum transparent paper. And so I just kind of drew simple eye shapes and then a little mouth and cut those out with scissors and used some clear tape to adhere them to the ghost, because then when we illuminate it from inside, the tape won't block the light from showing through. And then I just had a witch's hat laying around in the basement, so I added that to the top, which is something that is completely optional, but I thought was kind of a cute addition to this ghostly figure. And so you could have some wire timer battery operated lights kind of inside to light it up, or you could do what I'm doing, which is to have an LED black light bar just kind of resting right inside this ghost. And then I have the cord just running off the edge of the table and across the floor to the plug-in. And to make sure people don't trip on that cord, I'm going to put some painter's tape over the cord to the floor just to make it so it's not a tripping hazard. It's just very, very fun, classic Halloween. So across the table, we have a variety of different dishes. These are, of course, Johanna Parker bowls that I purchased off of eBay, but I believe some people were finding these at Ross stores, HomeGoods, possibly TJ Maxx. So you can check those places, but I never came across any there, so I ended up purchasing mine online. But this is a set of 3 Johanna Parker Halloween Ghost nesting bowls. And then I have a variety of salt and pepper shakers on the table. We have these cute little black cats. Those are something my mom and dad gave me for Christmas a couple of years ago. This set over here was something that I found at a HomeGoods a few years ago, as was this adorable little sugar and creamer set. But one dishware set that I absolutely love, and I've been collecting it for years, that goes very well with the Johanna Parker pieces, are these orange enamelware dishes. So I'm actually not sure on the age of these, but they are definitely not new, and they're a little bit hard to find. But luckily, I've come across some sets of them at antique shops. I think a garage sale I found some pieces, and then some on eBay. So that is something that you could try to start collecting for Halloween. These lanterns on the table are something that I made with a paper cutting machine. I wanted something that was very old-fashioned looking and something fun to add a lighted look to the table. Other things on the table, I have these adorable Halloween paper plates. Those are something for the Halloween party. I feel like paper plates are kind of nice having a disposable tableware because it just makes the amount of dishes that you have to do after the party a lot less. So yes, I have kind of some large plates, some small plates, depending on if somebody's dishing up a lot of little appetizers or possibly just a dessert. And then I have these cute old-fashioned looking napkins and some cups that I haven't taken out of the packaging quite yet. But it's just a fun way to not only have something that you don't have to wash, but to add another flair of Halloween to the party table. And hanging from the ceiling by some thread are these cute Halloween themed paper sphere decorations. So these kind of are like an accordion style thing that comes folded up that you just unfold, clip with the little paper clip, and then I just picked out a thread that kind of matches our wall color a little bit so that the string wasn't quite as noticeable. But I like to use painter's tape to attach the decorations to the ceiling, and then I usually cut out another piece of white paper about the size of the colored painter's tape, and then kind of tape that from the underside up over so that it blends in with the ceiling and you're not seeing this green painter's tape. So up above, draped from the ceiling, are some kind of accordion style tissue paper Halloween garlands. I thought these were really fun because they just remind me of back in the day Halloween decorating, kind of like what I remember teachers using to decorate classrooms or even stores sometimes, what they'd use to decorate. So underneath our jagged cut tablecloth, this is just a plain red plastic tablecloth from Dollar Tree. It took 2 tablecloths to surround this entire table. I used painter's tape underneath to adhere it to the underside of the table, and then I just jagged cut the lower portion at the floor to create this kind of spooky design with the black tablecloth. I folded the tablecloth multiple times and then used a scissors to cut out the design once. And then because it was folded over and over and over, it gave me multiple of the design that I ended up just attaching with more painter's tape underneath this jagged cut cloth edge. And this is how I decorated the buffet this year. So we have an adorable Johanna Parker Halloween bucket and these cute little ornaments on this glittery Halloween tree. These are something that's actually a craft video on my channel, so I'll have that linked below in the video description. But also across here, we have this Halloween screen, and you may notice it is actually the same kind of design pieces as the lanterns I have on the table, except it's a 3-panel and it's a little larger. This tree technically lights up. I have a flameless candle in this cute little bucket, so I have some fun Halloween light up features for the nighttime portion on this buffet. Under here we have these cute Johanna Parker party hats. you can purchase the use of templates for personal use to create these party hats. And basically it's a printable, so you can print out the template, cut them out, and then glue them together and embellish them however you like. I think there was an image shown of how they embellished theirs. These are Johanna Parker pieces as well, and there's something I purchased online a couple years ago. And then up on the mirror, I just have a Halloween ornament hanging from a black satin ribbon. So I just thought it was a fun way to decorate this antique mirror and just bring a little bit more of the Halloween look upwards. And I have two things to show over here. One is this ghost painting. So this is kind of a vintage style Halloween painting that I did in a craft video. So I have a paint with me style video from a couple years ago showing how to create this fun little ghost painting. And then I just placed mine in this antique picture frame that I picked up for under 20 bucks at an antique shop. But on the other side, we have this witchy curtain. So this is something I purchased at Michael's this year. You might notice all these little light strands hanging down behind. Those are a part of this curtain, so they came with it. I believe it was about 30 bucks, not on sale, for this witchy large curtain panel with the lights. And they are LED and battery operated timer. And then I just bought a very inexpensive spring curtain rod to put it up in this window because there wasn't a curtain rod here. But it's a very fun way to decorate a window for Halloween. I decided to open the cabinet doors so there wasn't a glare, but this is more of my collection of Johanna Parker Halloween pieces. These two pieces I think are the Carnival Cottage collection, which is magenta. Those are something I bought on eBay, but yeah, those I think are all magenta pieces. Transpack pieces, we have the mugs, I think mostly are transpack, as are these cute little salt and pepper shakers that are mixed in here and there. These standing decorative figures are also transpack and are something I got from my mother-in-law and her husband a few years ago for Christmas. But up top, you know, the little spider, the bat, the little tiny owl down below here, those are also transpack pieces, and those are ones that I got from my mom and dad a couple years ago for Christmas as well. But mixed in, we have some Bethany Lowe Johanna Parker pieces, and that is this piece right here, the little owl up top there, and yes, this bat. Those are all Bethany Lowe pieces. And up on this little shelf is a cute handcrafted piece that I purchased on Etsy last year. And below I have a cute black cat vintage style Halloween bucket. And on the chair next to that is of course my Halloween children's book, Mildred the Mouse's Halloween Adventure. And then on the stool on the other side is this adorable, also purchased from Etsy, handmade pumpkin cookie pillow. And speaking of cookies, we have some family visiting this weekend, and I just had to buy these at the grocery store to make. They're just such a classic. They're so good. It's so hard not to eat way too many. I always joke and say they're a stomach ache waiting to happen because I usually end up saying I'm just gonna have one, and then I end up having like 6 or 7 of them. So this is how I decorated the kitchen island this year. This is a big platter that I found on eBay, and this is another one of the little ghost bowls that goes with that nesting bowl set. Then we have a cute cookie jar, some little salt and pepper shakers, and these artificial gingerbread houses. These came with lights inside that were not timer. A lot of things like this, it is fairly simple to pop out the lighting puck in the bottom of the decoration, and then you can place a timer flameless candle inside, timer, LED string light strand, or some other timer light that'll fit. So yeah, that is a fun idea. If you have decorations that aren't timer, you can always take the lighting source out carefully and insert a lighting source that is timer. And then this is how I decided to decorate the coffee bar this year. The decorative space has shrunk a little bit on here with the addition of this extra coffee machine, but I still did have room for this cute little ghosty pumpkin, which I thought was a fun way to display these stir sticks. And then this little decoration. But in front of that, I have some more adorable Halloween napkins. These are more like beverage-sized napkins. And I did decorate the little powder room off the kitchen with this cute ghost holding a black cat piece that I found at Michael's. Some of these little funny expression pumpkins that I got at HomeGoods. A little tiny cat bucket, a little fall wreath, and then on the other side, I have a very fun bubble light Halloween night light. This is something I have in my online shop. Again, I'll have that linked below in the video description, and quite a few other things I've shown in this video are things I do have in my shop. So if you're looking for some fun Halloween decorations, feel free to check that out. And just because it is kind of part of the kitchen, in the staircase coming down to the kitchen, I have this fun pumpkin that I got at Home Depot last year, but I also have this cute little witchy mouse. So yes, that is how the kitchen and dining room are decorated this year for Halloween. So now I'm just gonna wait till it's dark outside, and I'll show you what the dining room and the kitchen look like, all lit up at night. Looking for some spooky Halloween decorations and gifts? From nightlights, decorative figures, and signed books, to candy dishes, jars, and tableware, my online shop offers a variety of festive items to make your upcoming holiday full of Halloween fun. Take a browse. You never know what spooky decorations and gifts you'll find.